Batman. Okay, today just want to talk about a bit of communication styles, and one of the questions I sometimes get is, how do I deal with online haters? Okay, so how do you deal with online haters? I don't know, because I don't have haters yet. Okay, maybe after this I do, but I just want to share with you maybe two approaches with regards to dealing with online haters, or people who potentially can destroy your online credibility, your online reputation, or just destroy the very image people have about you, and how do you deal with them. And this is not something to be taken lightly, because in these days, your business hinges on your credibility, your reputation, your image, how people perceive you and such. So taking care of all that is very important. And of course, during the duration of this building of your businesses and such, there will be people who are discontent, people who are not satisfied, people who feel that there are just angles and areas or facets of yourself that they can discuss with their friends, with their family members, or even to your clients or your potential clients. So how do you deal with all this? Now, this might come across as very funny, or something which is light-hearted, but I think there's a deep model behind what I want to share, and that is with regards to how I perceive, Batman, the Dark Knight himself, will approach dealing with haters or online critics and such. And then I want to compare that with how perhaps his adversary, his main nemesis Joker, will take on haters also. Okay, so just bear with me. What I want to share is that, for the Dark Knight, Batman himself, he's very calculated. He does things on a very cold, distant attachments to things. He does things to get results. He does things to get outcomes, and he does things in such a secretive manner that you probably do not know what he's doing in his bat cave. He is probably also the type of person who doesn't bother updating his social statuses, like Batman is now at Keonside Road, or Batman is now at Geylang having Yong Tau Fu or Gado-Gado, right? You probably won't get that from Batman, because he just believes in doing things, the needed things, the required things, on the sly, on the quiet, in the stillness of the dark and in the quietness of the night. But there is a method that he approaches when he wants to deal with things. You see, factually, he's also hated by the people of Gotham. People dislike him, thinking that he's a villain, he's a vigilante that does not have any rules or such. But he has a bigger thing that he has in mind, and that is to preserve and protect Gotham. Okay, so for him, that is his end goal, that is his main thing. So he will get repressed, he will get a lot of skepticism. There will be citizens of Gotham doubting him and such, but he knows that he cannot entertain or satisfy or validate all these insecurities or all these doubts and skepticisms these citizens are having, and even the police of Gotham are having those skepticisms. If he were to go around validating, trying to explain himself, wanting to paint a good image campaign, making sure that he is perceived as a hero, he'll not have the time to fight the villains, right? So for Batman, the Dark Knight himself, he does things on the sly with the bigger picture in mind, but he knows that the processes that he is putting in place, the planning, the resources he has with Alfred and such, it gets him doing and progressing. Okay, for him, dealing with people is secondary with the online haters. More importantly, he has to get the processes needed to protect and preserve Gotham. That is more important. So even for your businesses, you have to understand that when there are such things, skepticism, hatred, discontentment, critics, those kind of things, they will serve as distractions for you. But you have to ask yourself objectively, at the end of the day, does validating, dealing, reacting to all this add an ounce of significance to your business or whatever that you're trying to build? If it does not, then you have to adopt the Batman way of dealing with haters, skeptics and such, and that is to just ignore that and deal with what you can do and you can control, and that are your processes, your planning, what you wanted to put in place. All the while, just keep to it. And then of course there's the flip side to dealing with online critics, or critics on general basis, and that is to adopt the Joker's way of dealing with things. You see, the Joker has this modus operandi. He does things, and the planning or the thoughts, the rationale behind it just goes along as he does things. And he's an agent of chaos, meaning that he does not give a shit about what's gonna happen around him. He just wants to do things. He just do things, and whatever it is that happens. And so he goes on a rampage or on carnage to make sure that he gets his desired outcome, and he proves people wrong or right about him just by him doing all this maximum damage. He doesn't care about his reputation. In fact, he lives it up. He just wants to attract the attention. And the more spectacular things he does in terms of damage, the more he feels validated, you see. And so people keep on hating him, and that's the problem with adopting a Joker's manner of dealing with critics, is that in the process you'll be disjointed yourself. You'll be, you are doing all these things, but then you become an agent of chaos. You probably do not have a proper system. You probably just do things on the go at the slide, and then after that you just really wreak havoc all around. And the problem with this is that you can't build an ecosystem of trust, cooperation. You have to get people to work for you. You have to betray, manipulate situation, people, just to get the image that you want to portray out. And then you become such a destructive person. Yeah, you may be dealing with these haters and such, but then when you return fire after fire after fire in your statuses, in your comments, in your post updates or such, it just becomes the whole cycle of just retorting to people, reactions, outcomes and such. So it's never ending, and it's always about who can create more damage. You see, for Joker, it's always about who can create the most damage. So if you want to go the Joker way, make sure you have an infinite amount of resources, supply. Make sure that you can really go all out and destroy your critics or your haters. Make sure you can really kill them off. Like for Joker, in the movie, he literally kill and finish off all his critics. He wanted to prove a point. He just created situations whereby his critics were manipulated and they were killed at the end of the day, and Joker doesn't care. You see, his way, his method is the ends justifies the means, which when applied in a very destructive manner, it becomes a force of chaos, and that's not something that you might want to contend yourself with when you are building a business, because you risk destroying your business also at the same time when you are doing this, when you are dealing with online haters or critics in that manner. And that's very dangerous, because you don't want that to happen for your businesses. All right, so you can go both ways. Actually, you can adopt the Batman way and you can adopt the Joker's way, but be smart about it. If you are building something noble, you want to create an income for your family, you want to create an ecosystem of product value and such for your clients, then whatever criticisms or whatever skepticisms or hatred that comes your way, take it as a distraction that you can deal with later, but always stay to the main plan, always stay to the main game, and that is to make sure you get your businesses up, you get your businesses done properly. Critics and skepticism are bound to happen, but while you're doing all this work, keep it on the slide. Just keep it on the silent side of things. Just do in the stillness of the night. No need to create so much attention on yourself. Just do it. But if you want some interesting things to happen in your life, make sure that, if you want some drama, every day you got drama to wake up to, then you can adopt the Joker's way of doing things. But make sure you can deal with the emotional and mental pressure, okay? Because you might be able to diss off or kill off your online haters, but the worrying thing is that at the end of the day, you might just also go crazy, right? So that's just my things and take on how you can deal with skeptics or critics. There are plenty of them out there, but I'm always with Batman, so choose the Batman model.